Back to normal length once again, all sim racing news of the week, right here, right now. Greetings Romy, you're watching RomRom, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing and a regular news roundup, our weekly sim racing news. Thanks to all those who come here often, especially those who subscribe, and even more, our patrons. My name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. The sim racing world is waking up. This week we have bigger updates to talk about as well as our monthly usage numbers, so of course this video is longer than the last ones together. Automobilista 2 got a big update, Assetto Corsa Evo got a much needed big update with a snack. We'll tell you about it right here. Developers are waking up from the winter slumber, which leads to long lists of updates, as is the case with Reza and the newest updates of Automobilista 2. Well, okay, in most of Brazil it's summer and not winter, but the line with the winter slumber was too good to pass up. In fact, Reza are so wide awake, they published 2 updates this week, raising the sim to version 1.6.3.6. We'll mix both in this report, not do a video for each. Karts as well as the FUSA oval variants got revisions of the physics to bring them in line with the 1.6 updated physics. Their AI has also been improved as well as the tire treads and their thermodynamics, as was to be expected. The sound of the karts got different revisions to make the sources of the sounds more in line with reality, and the kart drivers wear no hands devices anymore. You can now configure pit speed limit to a maximum of 200 km per hour, which is mental, but anyway. Among many small changes and corrections to the UI, the sim now shows the correct vehicle statistics based on the 1.6 physics update. All the FUSA cars got aero adjustments for all variants, and their Gen 1 got a 40-gallon fuel tank to bring it in line with the tanks of the period these cars drove in. Opala's Omega and Puma GTB cars got adjusted drag coefficients, the F-Dirt suspension setup adjustments, and the Lamborghini Veneno Nissan R89C and the Rallycross cars got minor force feedback adjustments. Also, a ton of cars got a ton of small, precise changes, and if you are interested in every detail, check the link in a description. Regarding the AI, their aggression behavior has been tweaked, the session times calibrated in a ton and a half of series, as well as a calibration of wet driving for the F High-Techs, Opala 1971, Opala Old Stock and Stock Omega 1999. Also, they now won't pit in Endurance and FUSA Oval as easily as they got a new logic for time loss and tire wear. All in all, they've become less scared with regards to fuel. Kansai and Snetterton got some slight corrections. Your FPS may take a hit as the graphics at Spielberg have been improved with 3D foliage and other assorted graphic improvements, and the safety cars have been made period accurate in the Series F Junior, Vintage Touring Car Tier 1, BMW M1 Pro Car, Group C, Group A, GT1 and F USA Gen 1 to 3. Le Mans Ultimate adds another update to the one of last week. In it, they have corrected FPS issues when running the sim borderless or windowed. Even when in VR, users will now be able to spectate in hosted servers, and the nationality flag won't be reset back to default anymore. Also, they've published their plans for the next 2 updates. In late February, they expect to deliver 3 new LMGT3 cars, which will be free. Also, unspecified new layouts for unspecified circuits will be dropped at this time. For early May, they expect to deliver driver swaps and teams, as well as a Team Online Championship for Race Control Pro and Race Control Pro Plus subscribers. Together with the Le Maestros DLC, EA's WRC got an update, as it often happens. It includes a new livery select interface, an updated home space, as well as 80 further player nationalities to choose from. Me, I'll continue choosing Ukraine in any sim that asks. Slava Ukraina. Also, service area time penalties are now being applied to overall results, and once you've repaired motor and radiator, it should not smoke anymore in the service area. Moments should not lead to a connection failure after you restart and complete them, and they should now all use the right time of day. Also, they've corrected the session browser files on quick play multiplayer as well as other issues there. Race Room had once again a tiny update. These peeps seem to have a weekly delivery point, right? They are moving on with stabilizing the reliability of the code, change rolling start logic, Daytona time attack has been corrected, and the Formula Junior saw not further specified improvement of the physics. Duck season? Rabbit season? Nope. It's rally season. That's why in a landscape of slightly declining numbers, including the overall numbers, which in any case keep over 35,000 daily average users, the rally sims are pretty much the only ones to grow in January compared to December. Even Dakar Desert Rally grew from 14 daily averages to 26, nothing wild here, because of course the Dakar Rally took place. Of note is Assetto Corsa Evo, which has started strong with over 1,000 daily average drivers, although if they don't get online running soon, these numbers may plummet. More on it later in the news. And the LFM effect is clear in Automobilista 2, which, while losing drivers compared to last month, is still over 1,000 daily users, which is a lot for this sim, and congratulations to Reza for that. Other than that, the results are only a slight decline overall now that people have to go back to work after the holidays, I suppose. By the way, these numbers mean 6,000 more daily average drivers than same month last year. Looks healthy, but I don't want to jinx it. If you like what you see, how about supporting us? A like, a subscribe, or even becoming a patron. Patrons get access to exclusive content and are involved in our decisions. Help us grow with your support. When is a surprise not a surprise but still a surprise? When it's the 1.4.0 version of Assetto Corsa Evo. Let me explain myself. We all knew this version was coming while it dropped on Wednesday, and we expected it on Tuesday. That's nothing special or important. What is important is that this version still does not correct the server issues that plague Evo since it came out. At the moment, Evo is still offline only. This is not egg on Kuno's faces, this is a whole aviary. I've made this point already a couple of times. Kunos released Evo in early access with a clear promise that you would be able to drive their academy and have something of a loose career by gaining points and money through the academy and racing. At the moment only against the AI, but that was clear even before it came out. No biggie. And being able to buy and customize your cars like in other similar software. This was a promise for the early access release version. This was ingrained in the delivery. This was communicated as an important, if not the most important point of Evo, at least until roaming on the Eifel region drops. And still, over 2 weeks after the release, Kunos are not able to solve the issues with the server, the backbone of their sim. As a normal user, I would have refunded Evo a long time ago. Of course, we don't do that as we want to check out Evo in every phase. Our obligation is to you, if you will. But this is unacceptable. Kunos had made themselves a good name with their releases even before Assetto Corsa, but of course with Assetto Corsa and Assetto Corsa Competizione. This good name fades with every day they fail getting the server to work. Something went catastrophically wrong in the development and in their QA for sure. What surprises me is that in the reduced online beta they released, which was coded 1.4.0 by the way, they had online active and it worked well enough even if there were bugs and issues here and there. But it seems that developers are not sure it would survive the barrage of users when it's on the standard release. And if the issues are a function of the number of users, which seems to be the case, but I have no indication in any direction, then this is something that can be tested easily. There are methods, measurements and software that help you test the load on a server and analyze any weak points. These are industry standard and a couple of decades old. which makes it even more baffling that Kunos are unable to solve the issues. A catastrophic failure by management for sure. Anyway, enough rambling. There are things that the 1.4.0 version delivers, like a better music system and a new music within the sim. Incredibly important changes for sure. Yeah, I'm being sarcastic. Added to this, there's been some tweaking of the sounds in Mount Panorama, the BMW M4 CSL, the Lotus Emira and the Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. There's been some fixes and small changes in the showroom and corrections to the mirrors. One important change, and I'm not being sarcastic now, is that ACEvo now listens to concurrent devices. If you have one device doing the same as another device, the inactive one of the two is set dormant until it's used again. The mouse cursor now disappears from view if not used, and the default FOV has been changed for the driving cameras. The rendering on triple screens and VR has been optimized, and some issues were fixed, as was to be expected, and some graphic details of the cars have been corrected. Also, the minimum tire pressure limits have been raised, and the BMW M4 CSL saw the ride height limits and the launch control corrected. Let's hope in the next update we can talk at large about the online mode, because if not, I don't know.